Greetings from my new digs at 406 Cabot in Beverly, Mass. Um, I am thinking about the second dose of the vaccine, which I received today, or rather yesterday morning. Um, I'm feeling it today. It's a little bump, and it has a sight reaction, as they say, but no other ill effects at all. I'm fine. So, it occurred to me that uh, people will want to know whether or not you have been vaccinated or not. And so, what do we do? What do we want to show from ourselves? Like, for instance, when we go to the polls and we vote, and we are proud of that, we always ask for a little oval sticker that says, I voted, which we wear for the day. And it tells people, hey, you're civilly responsible. You get it. This is how democracy works. It's the only thing we can do. Let's do it. So, I thought when we get our complete vaccination, nominally, if we get it and we get the card that the CDC issues to us that has the dates of the doses and what ones, whether you get the 1 dose or 2 dose version, what the numbers were, the lot number, the date administered, and other stuff. But not very much information. But once you get that, once you are considered in the safety zone of herd immunity, as we call it, then what do we do to signal to each other, hey, we did it? I spoke to a couple of people who are creative friends of mine, and we all agreed after some discussion that it will be a letter, just the simple letter V. Now, I'm pretty good with calligraphy, and now I do scribble some once in a while, and I'm thinking of along the lines of a cursive uppercase letter V in a script form like that. And I have the chops and the tools for this. One of the things that I like to do is just brainstorm with some of this equipment here, and this right here is what's called a steel brush. I haven't used it in a long time, but I've got the holders here, and so we'll see what we go with. Because I do have some nice ink, and I'd love to play here, so I'm going to play. So steel brush is basically a tripled up brass and steel nib. I think these are chrome plated. They might be nickel plated, but the plating is keeping it from rusting. And you got to clean and dry these thoroughly after you use them. They're very effective though. I have a couple of holders here. I don't know that this one is going to take it. It gave me trouble before. Yeah, it seems to be wanting to do that again. Nope, there it goes. There it goes. All right, get in there. All right, so now we have this implement here. So that's a good size. I'm going to work with that. So we'll put this stuff aside, especially gold. This gold is amazing. It sits on top of the surface like illumination in the Middle Ages when we were putting gold leaf on vellum. But it looks like that. It's a great ink. So we're going to play with that. So I'm going to go with the gold first because I'm feeling brave. All right. Pause for shaking. So, I'm thinking something along this as the final object. I like the swoosh to the side, the lead-in stroke, this here. And you can notice I did a little sinew there, or not sinew, sinuous curve to that one. And now if I go down from here in that stroke, if I speed it up, we get a little variation there. I can correct that. And give it a little upstroke to put a little more pigment down at the bottom. Now from this is the main event here, this downward swoosh. We need to place it just where we need it to be. And as it connects, it should be pretty seamless there, right along that. You can touch that and just make it go. In the body of this vertical, could be a little more body here. Bump, 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 bump. I will this is the version that we'll use. This is the one right here. I love the point that comes up there. And I could I'm thinking, yeah. There we go. Now, they're both very nice. I kind of like this one for its simplicity's sake. This one here is getting a little bit Art Nouveau, which I love, but for legibility, this is worse. So for legibility, we're going to stick with the version of this one, sans serif. So not this. You know, so essentially, this part without the horn, we'll go just with that simple bump. Let's try it again. There we are. Flatten that out some. There we go. That's nice. I like that. So with a little cleanup for the point down here, which I'll do with a brush later, that will be the one we stick with, I think. Now, this is a derivative, as many of you know, of the word vaca. Now, vaca, Latin for cow, was used to describe the first process of vaccination, which occurred when it was discovered that people who were working with cattle, especially milkmaids, would get a rash on their hands, little pox, and the pox were referred to as cowpox because they were just familiar with having those things on the udders of cows, and you handle it, and boy, you catch it, and that sucks for a week or so, and then you're fine. They also found that women who had been in that industry and had contracted smallpox were immune to smallpox. So, when the smallpox ravaged the population, it took out lots of people. And when they figured out that certain people had immunity, someone, did their reading and went back to the Middle East, where this science was already in place, and discovered that if you took the, basically the scab tissue from the pox of cowpox, ground it up, and scratched it into the skin of someone who hadn't had it, or actually in some places they'd blow it right up your nose. They'd powder it and blow it right up your nose, which is kind of crazy, but it worked. So this is vaca. Vaccinate comes from this root word, also vaquero, and so cowboy. So the V. I'm envisioning a couple of things right now. One of which is just a simple brass finished stick pin, a lapel pin, a pin back on this. And the reason that I went with the gold first is because I kind of expected that this is what I'd want it to look like, really, in gold. So when looking at this particular character, it's very legible. That's a V. Fine. Yes, it's a fancy V, but it's still not, so cryptic as to be, huh? You don't want that. So when I'm looking at typefaces, all right, when I'm looking at, how things should be kerned, when a letter is by itself, kerning is still relevant. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry, we're not doing the purple. We'll do simple black. because this here, the bottle has a built-in well. So what you do is you tip it like so, wait for it to settle, and there, I don't know if you can see it from this camera here, you've got a well with a lip, so you can dip and draw off the extra. And now, let's go. There we are. There we are. I like that even, actually. We'll curve that in. I even like the bulb there. And we'll straighten that part out there. That's it. I don't see any problems with that graphically. I think that works fine. So there, our new symbol. I have been vaccinated. Have a great rest of your day.